We were approached back in 2017 from SeaWeed Company, a cannabis retail store. The owner is Scott Howard, and the idea behind the store itself was to create something that was distinctly different. They were starting a new brand, wanted to be something that was very approachable, met the feelings of Maine-made products. After the referendum in 2016, wanted to create a new brand that was forward-thinking in terms of marijuana recreational use in the state of Maine. And so they came to us and wanted to create an architecturally distinctive building that reflected their brand. The primary goal was to set a higher level of sophistication in terms of cannabis retail. They wanted to try to be first out the door in terms of the cannabis industry here in Maine. And in order to do that, they want to make sure they set the stage very high. And so what's nice about the site, it's set really close to an adjacent set of wetlands. And that is brought into the space by a set of large windows, and it helps bring in that calming atmosphere to the space itself. Again, being very approachable, something that the average consumer versus the first-time buyer can come to use the product, but at the same time make it a very relaxing experience for anyone to come inside. My favorite detail of the project is the entire ceiling is a wood ceiling. So it's just a simple shed roof that's extruded along the length of the building. But when you go inside, where the edge is rising along on the right side when you walk in, rather than just having the shed truss roof come across, we actually did an inverted hip truss. And so what that allowed to happen is that wood ceiling came together in a singular point. And so in order for the math to work, you had to take that 2 to 12 pitch and shave like a 32nd of an inch off of each board in order for those joints to realign to itself. The team at Wood Hall, the carpenters, did a fantastic job making that all come together. When I've talked to the client, their favorite feature is really the environment that you feel yourself in when you're inside the space. It's that comfort of knowing that you walk in and then you have that helpful customer service person come to you and guide you through this experience. We have a lot of hard surfaces in the space: polished concrete floors, drywall on the walls, and then the wood on the ceilings. We actually put some joints into the wood and put some acoustical fabric behind the entire ceiling and some sound baths so that it eliminates any type of reverb that you might typically find in that space, and so it makes it a very soothing environment for the customer. When we started in 2017, there were no rules when it came into marijuana retail in Maine. We were picking up cues from other states who've had previous experience with this: Colorado, California, Washington. Once the rules did start coming in, when we were getting maybe near halfway through the design process, that we had to be very agile. We had to switch things around a bit. We had to make movements in order to make it so that it meet the regulations relating to whether or not you can see cannabis right when you walk in, whether or not you can actually touch it. And so a lot of organization of where you come to the product and how you experience that, and then at the same time recognizing how security affects with that and how we best coordinate all that together. First, for the project team, of course, with SeaWeed Company, a great set of people who gave a great, clear vision for what they intended to do for Maine and their vision for their product. Scott Howard and also Casper Henrique were paramount in terms of making sure that vision carried through the design and through the building. On the architecture team, along with myself, Caleb Johnson was the principal architect, and Lydia Mather was the designer on the project. We had a wonderful collaborative team with Man-Made in Miriam Mojidi and Meredith McDaniel. They did a wonderful work in terms of not only doing all the interior architecture work, but also helping us as a guiding force during the design process to help have those two elements come together holistically. A wonderful landscape architect was Soren de Noord. He really kept with that distinction of being surrounded by the wetlands, having it permeate through both inside and out for the building. Civil engineering team with Terran Consultants, our structural engineer, structural integrity, Peter Flecker, who's our director of construction, and also Keith Levan, who was the project manager, did a wonderful job making sure it was all coordinated, coming together. And of course, our carpenters who were on the team, I think, was Maz, Andrew, Ian, Sean, and Matt were all on the team. They did a fantastic job, including those details with the wood ceiling, that their persistence and attention to detail was completely necessary to make this project successful.